Inland Sports.
And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show with Week 0 right around the corner. The Corona Panthers with a massive game right out of the gate. We got head coach Andy Diaz. Join us on the show. And coach, SoFi Stadium, home of the Rams, home of the Chargers. I guess home of the Panthers now too. You guys are kicking off at SoFi. How cool is that in Week 0?
Well, first of all, thank you, Mr. Fernandez, having us on here. You know, it's a blessing always to be on your show. And wow, I've been coaching in my 27 years. And for me to experience something like this for our group, the players, this is just something phenomenal that doesn't happen to everybody. And but to see, this is great for the players, great for my coaches, great for the school, great for the community. You know, everybody's talking, it's the buzz out in the community. You know, whoa, the Panthers are playing at SoFi. You know, and it's just like one of these once-in-a-lifetime experiences. And, you know, when I contacted my principal, Mr. Sanchez, said, hey, Mr. Sanchez, we have this opportunity. He didn't hesitate. He's like, let's do this. You know, this is going to be great for everyone.
All right, so you play Hillcrest. So on top of, you know, the spectacle of playing at SoFi Stadium, that's a great game for you guys in that first year to find out, you know, how good are you? What are some things that you do well? What are some things that maybe you guys don't do well that you can fix going forward? Because that Hillcrest game, I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's a good, you know, measuring stick game, right?
So Coach Carter has it going on over there at Hillcrest, and he's doing a phenomenal job. They're a very good team. They took it to us last year. We know that, and it's tough when you're like, okay, do I want to play them at SoFi? And, you know, we just don't have the option. We're going to play Hillcrest at SoFi. And so, yes, it's a tough game, but I think it's a different scenario for everyone. And given that our kids are so young and to experience something like this, we're going there to, yes, we want to win the game. And we know it's going to be very difficult because Hillcrest just brings it every single time. But at the same time, it's SoFi Stadium.
Yeah.
You know, and to have that kind of experience, you kind of almost like everything goes out the door. And we're going to just take it all in from the trip to there, to the locker rooms, to warming up, to the actual game. And win or lose, this is going to be something that we will never forget.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, refresh my memory. I'm a huge football fan, but wasn't I can't remember now. The Super Bowl was at SoFi last year, wasn't it?
Was it?
Or was it 2 years ago? I can't remember now.
It was the year before that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just there. You're going to play in a stadium that hosted the NFL Super Bowl like that. That's just crazy.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, you know, we sit there and we just, like the kids watch the Chargers, they watch the Rams, and they're going to be on that same field.
Yeah.
And
Matt Stafford stood right here.
Exactly. And we're going to be, you know, like the seats, you know, they're not paying, you know, I believe general admission is like $30 a ticket. And so, I mean, can you imagine $30 at SoFi? I wish I could pay that much and get those kind of seats.
You can't even park your car for that much.
Exactly. And so, you know, just to soak it all in. I mean, this is once in a lifetime experience that is going to come, and these kids will never forget. Their families will never forget. I know myself and my coaching staff, they're never going to forget this. You know, I can't thank, you know, Playbook Sports enough. You know, they're the ones that reached out to me, and because people keep on asking, how'd you do it?
Yeah.
What'd you do? And it's kind of funny because it goes back to what I preach to my players all the time, is treat everyone nice. Treat everyone how you want to be treated. Never burn bridges, and you never know. Yeah. And things will come through. And what happened was a gentleman that I met 10 years ago coaching, okay, had the connections with Playbook Sports, and Playbook Sports, you know, does this about on the East Coast. They did it in the Midwest, and now they're doing it on the West Coast, of getting games at SoFi that aren't necessarily the top tier teams, but the teams that never would get this kind of opportunity. And they wanted a coach that had respect, that has had a big background of having a good program that's not going to cause problems.
Yeah, doing it the right way.
Field, off the field, doing things the right way. Yeah. And that's how my connection from 10 years ago reached out and said, hey, Playbook Sports is interested in talking to you. Would you be interested? I'm like, heck yeah, let's do this. And it's costing us nothing. And that's what's incredible. And so, it's Hillcrest's home game. So then I had to call Hillcrest and convince them and say, hey, can we do this? Can we make this happen? And they go through the process, and it's doing it. Next Friday night, 5:00 at SoFi Stadium. I mean, it's something that is incredible, and it'll be incredible for both communities.
Man, you said next Friday night, and it just kind of hit me like, oh my gosh, like week 0, football is here. I know this is scrimmage week, but next week, I mean, we get after it for real. As a head coach, is it exciting, or is it, oh my gosh, I can't believe the season's here? Because I just feel like the summer always blows by. This summer in particular, it feels like it just flew by. But can you believe it's going to be week 0 next week?
Like I said, this is my 27th year, and sometimes you just never feel like you're ready for the game. Like you're just missing something. You want to make sure you cover everything. You want to make sure you have your special teams, your defense, your offense. Make sure you can know how to call things from the sidelines, how the players react. We are very, very young this year. A couple of my 2 top players, they're both going to be sophomores. I have my quarterback, Will Hitchcock, was a first-team All-League last year as a freshman. I have Angel Heredia, who's defensive end, also a sophomore, was a first-team All-League as a freshman. And so those 2 guys with a couple of my seniors, my running back, Riker Gazard, who was second-team All-League, and Jonathan Edgerton, which is a senior as my middle linebacker, who was honorable mention last year. I think is mixing those young guys with those experienced guys. And I'm really, really, really hoping to be like the Washington Commanders, where sometimes you're so young that you don't know, you just play.
Yeah.
And you play for the love of the game, and things happen, and that's kind of where I'm trying to follow through, is following them, because they were young last year.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm hoping for as well as this year.
You got another Jaden Daniels somewhere on your roster?
Will,
Hitchcock, maybe, right?
Will can throw the ball.
Yeah.
And so, and he's also hit the weights this offseason and working on speed. So he's getting there. Not Daniels by far, but he's getting there. He's definitely going to be a future guy that's going to get recruited and picked up definitely to play at the college level.
That's awesome. Yeah, he had a big freshman year. Coach, let me ask you, with the new playoff format, we've seen a lot of teams, if they just finish in 3rd place in their league, or even 4th place as an at-large, there's potential to make a deep CIF playoff run. So I don't know if that message is to your team as you go into the season, like, guys, let's battle through non-league. Let's get some wins. Let's build some confidence, some momentum. When we get to league, if we win 2 or 3 games, you might be right there in the hunt for a playoff spot. And then who knows? Once you get into the playoffs, who knows? There's a bunch of teams in the IE who have made some incredible runs, and they just sneak into the playoffs at the very end.
Playoffs are kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. It's almost like just get in, right? And one of the biggest things what we've been preaching is 5 or more. So if you're 5, you can go in as an at-large, possibly go in as an at-large. One of the biggest things is, you're having to schedule teams in preseason. Our league is difficult. Okay, when you have Murrieta, Mesa, King, Great Oak, Temecula Valley, and Santi, our league's tough.
Yeah.
And so to get in 3rd place is going to be tough, and we get that. We're going to have to win at least 2 games, to get in that spot. But we have 5 or more, I feel, gets us in, because divisions it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Some leagues you could have all 5 teams make it in. And then all of a sudden the last place team wins a CIF championship.
Yeah.
And
it happens.
The key thing is get in. And that's what we've been preaching to our kids. Like, hey, we have to worry about Hillcrest first. Whatever happens, then we have to worry about Bloomington. You just kind of take it in order and steps. And when you have young kids, you have to teach them, what's the vision? What's the goals?
Yeah.
How to play in that day, and kind of, football's tough. We only play 10 games for a reason. It's tough on our bodies. And, it's not like other sports where we can play 2 or 3 games in 1 week.
Yeah.
And so trying to teach the kids that, hey, we did all this stuff in the off season for a guaranteed 10 games, and we're working every day for 48 minutes, and it's kind of hard for them to understand that. And so you're trying to teach them that. And with us being so young this year, I see as a head coach that I'm having to do a lot of that this year.
Mm-hmm. Just go get some of the baseball guys from Andy Wise. I mean, all the great coaches at Corona, I guess, are named Andy. Get some baseball guys, right?
I'm going to be honest. There was a couple that came out my second year, and I was like, heck no. You're a draft guy. You're going to be making millions.
Don't get hurt on my watch playing football.
That's what I said. I said, you know what? You need to go back to the baseball field, And yes, I welcome any guy that comes out. And we do have some baseball guys. But, I'm also a realist. If these kids are going to get drafted and are going to make money, I get it.
Yeah.
And that's just the name of the game. But we also have baseball guys here. We have basketball guys playing for me and things like that. That, hey, you never know.
Yeah.
And give yourself that opportunity. And I tell my baseball guys, go play lacrosse, go play basketball, go play something else, because you don't know.
Yeah.
The more opportunities you give yourself, the more chances you have for scholarships and things like that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right, Coach, let's wrap it up like this. Tell me something about this team that you feel good about. Give me something positive, a strength on this year's version of Corona football. What have you liked so far about your Panthers, leading up? I know you got the scrimmage, but leading up to that first game against Hillcrest.
I think the biggest thing that I love is, first of all, our athleticism. Mm-hmm. I think this is probably the best bunch that I've had in 4 years, athletic-wise. And the best thing that I've seen is that they are all falling into my 3 pillars for the program, which is believe in yourself, believe in your teammates, and believe in your coaches. And so they're working hard in the weight room. They're trying new things. Some kids are being put in different positions. Some kids are not even coming off the field, and they're pushing themselves and they're trusting each other. And I'm seeing that bond as a team come together. And that's something great, because usually you don't see that with young kids and with a young team. And so to see these kids come together like this as a young team, and I think SoFi is going to be even more of bringing us together. It's amazing. And that's something that I look forward to. And it makes our life as a coach happy and more exciting to come to practice. I tell the kids, I said, hey, for the 25 cents an hour I get paid to coach, I said, we enjoy this. I want to enjoy football. I want this thing to work out for you guys. We're here to love you and care about you. And we just want to see the excitement. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the excitement in practices. So I'm waiting. I can't wait to see the excitement go on to the game field.
Well, we won't have to wait much longer. It all starts week 0, August 22nd. Corona taking on Hillcrest at SoFi Stadium to kick things off next Friday night. 5 p.m. kickoff if you're heading that way out to Los Angeles. So kind of a early start out there for the Panthers and the Trojans. That is Corona head coach Andy Diaz. Join us here on the Inland Sports Show. Coach, thank you so much. Good luck this season. Man, and enjoy that experience out there at SoFi.
Thank you, sir. And we're going to soak in every second of it.
All right, that's Coach Diaz here on the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports.